My name is Andrew Morgan. I'm a senior at Christian Brothers High School.
Today we're here to talk to you about the heart disease prevalence and prevention and opportunity youth. So when we say heart disease, we mainly think of older people. And it's uncommon for us to think of younger people. And while heart disease in younger people is less prevalent, we are all still at risk for heart disease just as much as older people are. So we decided to scope in on Memphis. And as you may know, Memphis is going through a food desert problem right now. A lot of our areas don't have proper access to fresh food. So if you combine the lack of fresh produce and the increased convenience stores within food deserts with the opportunity youth who are less active throughout the day and have more access to these unhealthy eating habits and tobacco, there's an increased risk to any heart disease, especially coronary artery disease.
Yeah, and as Braylon just mentioned, he was talking about food deserts. What do food deserts ultimately lead to? Well, food deserts ultimately lead to obesity. Memphis is the most obese city in the country. 21.8% of our deaths are because of coronary artery disease, and we see a correlation, a direct correlation between these two. It's also because of poor health literacy in schools and poor access to food and food deserts and lack of transportation from your neighborhood and one neighborhood to get to a grocery store in another. So what are we doing to address this? The article we read was by Richard J. Chung, and Mr. Chung's article, he spoke about these issues. And basically what Mr. Chung was saying is what you do as a teenager, what you do as a youth, is going to impact you down the road. And now, as he stated in his article, this is going to leave 1 in 5 people in the United States, lack the 5 basic cardiovascular functions that you need to when you reach the age of 40. So what are we doing to address that?
If we look at our national data, we see that just about half of all Americans have at least one of 3 key factors for any heart disease. And on top of that, coronary heart disease is the most common heart disease seen in all of America. And if we look at this graph right here, we can see that there was a decrease in death, but around 2020 is when there was an increase. And we can link this to the pandemic. When we were all inside, we didn't get a lot of activity. I know a lot of people that just stay cooped up for almost a year. So when you sit home and eat junk food and don't work out, you get obese, and obesity is a leading factor for any heart disease.
The local data is going to show the same thing. But in Memphis, it's more of an issue than any city in the country, because 21.8% of our deaths are because of coronary artery disease. 1 in 5 people smoke, and as I stated earlier, it's the most obese city in the country. It's also 40% of people 18 or older lack or have no access to physical activity throughout the day. And what are we going to do to solve this issue? So Braylon, in his evidence-based intervention, is going to answer that question.
So we all know that youth, we're a little stubborn pack, you know? So when you tell us to stop drinking, stop smoking, stop eating wrong, how are we going to take that? So we want to use the PYD model, the Positive Youth Development model. What that looks like is it takes a youth and pairs it with their strengths. So let's say that I'm a good group learner, right? I like to learn in a group setting. I can be set with a health professional and a group of students who also want to learn about their eating choices, why it's bad to smoke. But let's say that I'm better with a one-on-one session. I can have a one-on-one with a health professional, so I can learn and internalize the things I need to know about my choices. This way, no children slip through the gaps.
As we stated earlier, the leading cause of death is coronary artery disease. But don't worry, it can be prevented. It's the choices that you make as a teenager, as a youth, as a child, what you put in your body, how much physical activity you take place in, and what you do every single day. So what we need to do, we need to have access to health literacy. We need to increase the amount of grocery stores in our communities, because that is what matters. Convenience stores lead to obesity. Thank you, and we're very appreciative that you all hang out. Thank you so much.